Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece Chapter 977. So, first off, one thing I laughed out loud at in this chapter is how Law has become, is basically what Law was doing and how he was strategizing everything in this chapter, because Law, it basically shows to us that Law has become so used to Luffy's antics at this point that he actively wrote the plan around the fact that Luffy wouldn't even follow the plan. Like, it's a tiny detail and probably something that probably isn't worth talking about too much, I guess. But it's still both hilarious, yet at the same time shows that we've come so far and gotten to a point where Luffy's actions have become so normalized and so mundane in people's minds that the only way to really get anything done is to just plan around him. Yet, even under those circumstances, it's still no guarantee that things are going to go exactly as planned, as proven when we see when Luffy and those Straw Hats just mowed down the Tory guards. It was like with the Straw Hats like doing that, it was essentially a part of the plan anyway and worked in the Alliance's favor. But the thing was that they still, even though it was part of the plan, they still weren't expecting the timing of it, which I guess proves that you can pretty much plan around Luffy all you want, but the one thing you can never account for with him is how quickly he acts. Like he will act even before you set a damn plan in motion. So, but at the same time, I guess it is good in the sense of that at least Law knew in order to plan around that whole idea. Like it's the best thing to do, and that's one thing you'll like when it comes to timing the plan. I think that's one thing you're never going to be able to like pretty much truly get behind with. You're going to be able to truly ever kind of like plan around Luffy. Like timing is just one thing that's going to be far out of your reach. The only thing you can do is plan around what he's going to do, which in this case it did work. And that's and okay, can we please just talk? And okay, again, I know I keep talking about how hilarious this thing was, but can we just please talk about the fact that Luffy, the whole reason as to why Luffy pretty much even the whole reason as to why Luffy and the others pretty much just charged into the Torii Gate to begin with. It wasn't because it was part of the plan, obviously, but it wasn't because it was part of the plan, but because they needed booze in order to toast Jinbei joining the crew. That is one of those things that is just so Luffy that it puts a smile on my face. Like holy crap! Like again, it worked within the Alliance's favor that he did that. But the reasoning why Luffy did that is just like, yeah, it's Luffy. Why not? Like it works. It's Luffy. Why wouldn't he attack just to get booze to toast a new member of his crew? Like seriously, yeah, like it's really just one of those it's really just one of those moments that just weirdly just it makes you laugh, and it just weirdly puts a smile on your face and I think a good part of that too is that something like this also proves that for as much hardship and as much as Luffy's gone through, like throughout this time, he hasn't changed a bit. He's remained the exact same way. Like being trapped within that mine. That prison mine. It didn't change him for shit. He's basically the same Luffy. So yeah, it just shows like it's just a showing of his character in some ways, I guess. Um, and of course there's the whole thing that and of course there's the whole thing that basically this that basically and it's of course there's this whole thing where it's basically just a but between there's also just this whole like side thing where we're getting to Onigashima first is basically this whole competition between Luffy and Kid. Like that in itself is just like again it's Luffy. Obviously he would try and get there first before Kid. um Now, one thing. Now, speaking of Kid, though, one thing I really want to talk about with this chapter, and something that just occurred to me, is Killer. Is like Killer, like Killer, like Kid's like from second in command, crewmate Killer. I mean, the fact that, and for me, it's one of those things where the fact that Kid and Killer managed to regain their crew pretty much in itself shows that Killer didn't actually kill them. But at the same time, it just just the mere fact that Killer is there and basically all geared up again and whatnot, it's one of those things that just begs the question of what caused his mental breakdown to begin with. Like, I mean, the obvious answer is Kaido, but what circumstances caused him to have the mental breakdown that he did? There's definitely an unanswered question there, and a case where no matter what happens from here, this is one of, like, pretty much knowing what it is that caused Kid's mental breakdown to begin with. That's one of those major details that needs to be addressed, in the sense of what caused them to become as what did Kaido do to him to cause him to become as broken as he was, and has he and for that, even for that matter, a better question is, has has uh has has Killer even fully recovered his sanity and even become or for that matter, even just in general overcome whatever was causing him to be, well, whatever broke him to begin with. Like, all these are questions that not only need answers, but also have some interesting potential in order for Killer to actually develop as a character, but by him confronting these inner demons. And I do have faith that Oda will basically do that, like put Killer in a situation that forces him in order to confront those demons and what caused his mind to break at that time. But it's just a matter of when and at what point, because I can't say I'm not intrigued. I can't say I'm not intrigued by that possibility, and what possibilities of getting Killer's development in that form and sense would look like. Like, it is kind of intriguing, and like it's also, I think, just a thing where I don't want to again, I don't think it is going to be a thing like with Oda. He's very meticulous, but I just don't want it to be one of those things where it's just like, oh, like that basically the Killer had completely lost his sanity. Oh, he's better now. I hope that's just not the case. Like, again, I don't think it is, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of possibilities that can be explored with Killer, I think, right now, believe it or not. One major thing to talk about with this chapter is the arrival tease of the Tobiropo, and I believe one of those is X-Drake and probably page one as well. But the bigger mystery here is who the other members of the Tobiropo are, because the mere fact that they all kind of boss walked onto the scene shows that these guys have a presence about them that says they are the very first. That says they themselves are like the very first line of defense that protecting Kaido, and getting past even that very first line is going to be a difficult obstacle. A difficult obstacle before heroes can even actually have a hope of facing Kaido himself. And I love this because it shows that once our heroes land on Onigashima, there's always going to be something or someone relentlessly coming at them. And even if the Alliance's plan will pretty much plays out as they laid it out, even there's still going to be a problem and an obstacle at every turn. And in that sense, you could say that this setup right now, it reminds me a little bit of the earlier parts of Enies Lobby, with how there was always something preventing our heroes from moving forward, and being able to get to the main, goal. But so, and that's the kind of feeling I get here, that Onigashima is going to have that same setup, that there's always going to be something that's going to be preventing them from basically getting to Kaido and Orochi. Like at this, like it's obvious, but in terms of the setup itself, it reminds me very much of the Enies lobby thing, I think. um, hopefully that there will be less. It won't be so much on Luffy getting lost though. Um, but like and I think one thing we should prepare for is that beyond this point there's going to be a lot of non-stop fighting. Like I think every chapter there's going to be like fighting at every point, I think. Um, and you know, in some ways, I feel so bad for Kinemon needing to continuously try and save face around Denjiro, but at the same time, I like how it's also being used as a means to show just just how like just how Kinemon can work within what he's been given over what he had initially planned. Although, but at the same time as well, I couldn't help but kind of find myself relating to Raizo in the sense of I get why he's putting up this charade because he is such a key figure in this operation and probably can't afford to admit his screw up. But at the same time, you just wonder how much further this can be pushed. Like again, I think it's something even it's something even Kinemon himself admits. Like how much further can how much luck do I have left in me? So yeah. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Crunchyroll. Dead Night of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.